I got my whole own issue with Boosie on Hoover. Like y'all already heard about it before on Real Tune on Hoover. I need my hooves on West Side Hoover. Niggas is supposed to be going to the federal penitentiary area where my homeboys is at on Hoover. Niggas better, they go one way or another. Nigga gonna meet me. Nigga gonna have to speak up for what they supposed to speak up on Hoover. Nigga, I need my money.
I ain't worried about nothing, man. So you going to jail?
For sure. Yeah, all right.
I ain't going to jail.
You mentioned Boosie going to the federal penitentiary in California.
I guarantee you, if a nigga bust them doors open, the first Hoover nigga that I know that know me, that know anything about me, gonna be asking about my violence. I can guarantee you that.
Our business is still not finished on Hoover. I lost $52,000 in that concert, and I need my money.
You shot great, but you shot late. High level. This is the Rundown Podcast.
I'm gonna give you the rundown. I'm gonna give you the rundown.
As the saying goes, two mountains will never meet, but two gangsters most definitely will. And that's the story of how it all unfolded with Southern rap artist Boosie Badass and Los Angeles Hoover Crip OG Gumby, who bumped heads over a bad business deal, claims OG Gumby. And OG Gumby will go on to claim that the brother of Boosie, TQ, was the one that he initially talked to, but, TQ ended up stealing the money that OG Gumby put up for Boosie Badass to show up in this concert that Gumby was promoting, who he claimed he had 200 Hoovers there and more gang members in attendance, where him and the Hoovers locked Boosie in the green room, and pressed him, right? Sweated him about the money that was owed to him by Boosie's brother, initially TQ. And, OG Gumby even, he acknowledged the fact that he knew that Boosie wasn't the one behind this, and that he had proof that Boosie's brother was the reason that all this occurred, and Boosie's brother had stolen the money, the back end money, and all this that Boosie was talking about. OG Gumby claimed he had nothing to do with that, nothing with Jay-Z and Live Nation and all this that Boosie was going on about his money, right, that he didn't receive to complete the show. And OG Gumby said he was left in the dark, and the brother of Boosie did not show up to this concert where he can even holler at Groove to see what was going on with the money on, okay, and leaving Boosie to have to fend for himself and find his way out of that venue against these 200 plus Hoovers that was in attendance at this concert.
I needed to talk to Lil Boosie about my money. I don't notice his mother Instagram going off. Lil Boosie, he going off for Hoover. Like, he want his back end. I had to ask somebody, what the fuck is this nigga talking about his back end? I thought once I paid, I didn't know. I'm naive to the whole little script. So they telling me what he's talking about, but that don't have anything to do with me. You talking about Jay-Z and Live Nation and your back end. I don't know nothing about that. But I do know about your brother TQ stealing my mother money. On Hoover, we need to address that. Now, mind you, this is a concert with Lil Boosie and 200 hooks. I have a personal problem with this man. And it wasn't even a problem with Lil Boosie. It was a problem with his management, which is his brother TQ. And just like he see him on TV, he cocky. Oh, but see, he didn't understand. You're in the building with 200 Hoovers. And I'm Gumby, Hoover. Ain't no Boosie Badass in here. Gumby Badass. Hoover though. So, in his defense on Hoover, he was outnumbered. We're in the green room. And I think like the road manager. But at the end of the day, on Hoover though, when Groove was allowed to leave up out of the room, I need my bread. I don't give a fuck who give it to me.
Gumby would go on to explain, to make a long story short, that Boosie had found out through OG Gumby, that his brother TQ was definitely stealing from him. And this wasn't knowledge to Boosie until the situation occurred with OG Gumby. So Gumby felt like Boosie should at least had, acknowledged the fact and, recognized the fact that he would have never found this out had it not been for the situation that, OG Gumby and TQ had with this stolen money and Boosie not receiving all of his cash to do this concert, which led to more problems and Boosie suing his brother TQ up ahead. Now, after his initial interview with Real Tune TV, Tune doubled back and brought OG Gumby back again for another interview where he stated in the interview when asked by Tune as far as the status of the situation about the $52,000 that he felt was owed to him by Boosie, right? That's when OG Gumby explained that he knew Boosie was headed to the federal penitentiary and that he had Hoover gang members there ready to press him about OG Gumby's money as soon as those cell doors unlocked and popped. And it was definitely going to be some answering and some questions going on about this money that's owed to OG Gumby.
A well-known rapper with a big following on social media could be headed back to prison after he pleaded guilty to a gun charge in federal court today.
Boosie was arrested during a traffic stop here in San Diego 2 years ago. CBS 8's Kelly Hezedal joins us live downtown. Kelly, you were in the courtroom. You also spoke to Boosie. What can you tell us?
That's right, and his legal name is Torrance Hatch. Now, a lot of times defendants don't really want to talk to us if they're still going through court proceedings, but he was fine with it. He says he accepts responsibility for what happened, and he's ready to move forward.
I want to put it behind me. I want to get it behind me and get on with my life. It's a lot of things this case has stopped me from doing, traveling all across the world, making. So I just want to get it over with, and, accept my guilty plea. I'm ready to get over it.
How do you think he's gonna be treated in like California? Is it like you have to join a gang or because it's the feds, right?
I mean, I don't really know how he's gonna be treated, but I guarantee you if a nigga bust them doors open, the first Hoover nigga that I know that know me, that know anything about me, gonna be asking about my violence. I can guarantee you that. I got my whole own issue with Boosie on Hoover. Like y'all already heard about it before on Real Tune on Hoover. I need my hooves on West Side Hoover. Niggas is supposed to be going to the federal penitentiary area where my homeboys is at on Hoover. Niggas better, they gon' one way or another, nigga gonna meet me. Nigga gonna have to speak up for what they supposed to speak up on Hoover. Nigga, I need my money. TK, TQ, whoever that was in your inbox. What's the name?
Oh, the Boosie's brother.
I don't give a f. I need my money. Talking about slandering you, bitch. I don't gotta do none of that. I need my bread. Nigga. You niggas did some whole bad business. On Hoover, they try to make it seem like, oh, some janky promoter or some other bullshit. No, your brother ran off with my money, Boosie. Boosie, he ran off with my money. Remember that?
Well, I know Boosie. Now I don't know him like that. We don't know each other that well, but I'm knowing he's an honest man as far as on the bread. You know what I'm saying? Like Boosie doesn't seem like the type who would just dry. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know him personally. At that time, I was doing concerts. You know what I'm saying, and I had him, Plies, Apple Watch. You know what I'm saying, what's up to the HG? I hope you get better. You know what I'm saying, I seen you. I'm saying, I like all your shit, man. I'm saying, keep struggling. I hope gang shit. You know,
I need to find out.
Oh, you got to struggle to live, HG. You know what I'm saying, you came a long way. You know what I'm saying, she walking, she up, she doing her shit, man. Love you, man. But back to what I was saying though, yeah, I had a few different people that night that I was doing the concert with, you know what I'm saying? And I literally missed the concert, you know what I'm saying, into it with this nigga, explaining to him what the situation was with his people who stole my bread. You feel me? Right. So once he realized what his people did, who is TQ, 2K, whatever the fuck this nigga name is, you know what I mean? Whatever his name is, when he found out what he did that same night, he said on his own Instagram, I don't got no manager. Book me at Boosie.com. Because he seen that this nigga stole the bread and put him in a situation. There's 200 Hoovers in this building. It was like, it was Boosie, his road manager, the nigga he had that was supposed to be his bodyguard from Grape Street, and one other person, I believe. You know what I mean? Like, but it's 200 Hoovers in here. So he's not in a good situation. You know what I mean? And, you know what I'm saying, by us both being men, you know what I'm saying? Once all the rah-rah shit was over with, I'm saying, I was able to show Groove, look, oh, Hoover, this is my point right here. Your brother stole my, you know what I mean? And that's what led him to say, okay, well, I don't got no manager. This would led him to sue his brother for $500,000. But at the same time, I'm out $52,000, bro. I hope I need my bread, bro, from somebody.
I believe his brother got jumped over that.
Well, I don't know I don't know. I ain't had nothing to do with nobody getting jumped and nothing like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just now addressing it because, see, like, everything comes around. Everything comes around, bro. You can't do nothing to no real nigga, you know what I mean? And just get away with it clean. Don't work like that. Especially if that real nigga still living. You know what I'm saying? So I say, like, literally, like, I ain't able to reach out to Boosie or his brother. I don't even know his brother at all. You know what I'm saying? I never had any contact with him. But my direct contact was with Boosie, you know what I'm saying? And the people that I was dealing with, you know what I'm saying? Which helped me put on the concert. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's all third-party information. But I feel like I'm the only that got and I need my bread.
Now, it seems like Boosie done responded to OG Gumby's claims that he don't care how he gets his money, whether it's TQ, who initially took the money from him, or Boosie, right? The brother who's famous and who OG Gumby's looking like he's trying to make pay for a situation that his brother finessed him out of. Now, when asked about how he feels about the time he's about to serve in the federal penitentiary, Boosie said that he's not worried about nothing. And even though this clip of OG Gumby was already out before Boosie did this little short interview, that could be, taken as if he's throwing shots at Gumby saying, look, I ain't worried about nothing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't worried about nothing, because then Boosie backdoors and says, I'm not going to jail.
Boosie, what's up, man?
You got your upcoming sentence in your next court date in about 12 days, November 21st.
Yep.
How you feel about the overall situation, though?
I ain't worried about nothing, man. I trust in God. I ain't stressing or nothing, bro. Like,
for sure.
I'm living my life. Gonna go take me a trip to Miami.
For sure.
I trust in God, bro. I ain't going to jail.
For sure. Yeah, all right.
I ain't going to jail. But one thing about me, big boy, my chin up and my chest high.
Yes,
so this ain't my first rodeo, nigga.
All right, family.
I'm not going, right? He doesn't want to speak that into existence. So I'm pretty sure Boosie had, heard about what OG Gumby was saying. He had already been, interviewed before on Real Tune TV. And he said, this story before about how he felt, Boosie owes him this money. He doesn't care if it's, Boosie or his brother who pays him. He just needs his money. Right, from this $52,000 loss that he claims that the state gave him the money to put on these shows.
On Hoover. And then on top of that, you know what I'm saying, on some real nigga, if I show you that your brother stole $500,000 from you, you know what I'm saying, how you not going to make sure that what I had going on is right? Without me, that could have continued stealing and doing all the foul shit that Boosie accused him of. You know what I mean? But here I am speaking about the situation. Oh, here's some janky shit, because this is Boosie. I don't give a fuck who you is, bro. I need my money, bro. I need my bro. I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling that at all. I don't give a fuck. His brother didn't text you talking about suing me and some more shit. Do what you need to do. Show up in court. I'm Hoover. I need my bread, nigga. You did that. And the crazy thing about it is that, see, they like, oh, this is some type of game. No, nigga, that was money that the state gave me to throw those concerts. Nigga. So I got every record that I'm supposed to have. I'm Hoover. I'm not the type of nigga to go jump in court because I don't like the police. I'm saying I've been through the whole situation I've been through. So I'm thinking us as, what I'm saying, supposed to be real. We can work this shit out without them. They ain't heard nothing from them. I'm Hoover. But see, now you got to go where I got people that can be right next to you.
Now, Boosie spoke as if, he's not going to go do no time at all. Now, I don't know if this is something that, he might have personal knowledge of, that they're still contemplating, and maybe he can get some type of different deal on this where he doesn't do no time. But, for him to say that he's not going to jail, right? And we just heard that he just took a plea, signed a plea deal. We thought all this was already sealed and a done deal. So, for him to say that and state that, it's kind of wild. And, that's something we're going to have to see what's going on when he turns himself in
Airway.
Today, rapper Boosie, whose real name is Torrance Ivy Hatch Jr., pleaded guilty to a charge of being a felon in possession of a firearm.
This charge stems from his 2023 arrest in San Diego's Choice View neighborhood, where police found the 42-year-old with 2 guns during a traffic stop. He initially planned to plead guilty for probation, but the case was then dismissed last year after a Ninth Circuit court ruled that it was unconstitutional to ban nonviolent felons from owning guns. A larger panel from that court, though, later reversed the ruling, upholding the ban. So now Boosie is set to be sentenced later this year in November.
And his attorney provided us this video of him performing on stage. Now, Hatch, known as Boosie to his fans, now awaits sentencing. He's a father of 9 kids. His fiance was with him in court today. So some background on this case. It stems from a traffic stop in San Diego in May 2023. Hatch was arrested in Choice View after police found 2 guns inside a vehicle he was riding in. Now, the state charges were eventually dropped, but the feds then pursued a case against him because he was a convicted felon in possession of a firearm, which violates federal law. Now, the 42-year-old rapper announced earlier this month on social media that he was going to take a plea deal. And so this morning he went before a judge and entered that guilty plea. So here's what his defense attorney told me outside court.
I am optimistic for Mr. Hatch. He, as you just explained, wanted nothing more than to accept responsibility and put this behind him. And now it's my job to make sure the court understands the scope of the case and what the case is really about. And more importantly, all of the amazing things that Mr. Hatch has done for the community, continues to do, and the amazing things that he will do going forward.
Now, the details of that plea deal have not been released as of yet, so who knows what Boosie knows about this plea deal that, the public hasn't found out as of yet. But we shall see coming the day of when he supposedly turned himself in. Now, OG Gumby will state that Boosie did not back down when him and the 200 plus Hoovers did lock him in that room and press him about that money that was owed. And he said Boosie, was, shocked and taken back that his brother was stealing from him. This is his first time, finding out anything like this, which led to Boosie firing his brother. And OG Gumby was saying that, Boosie and him talked. That's how Boosie was able to get up out that room and made an agreement that he would make it right? Exchange contact information, and Boosie and him would do business. But, he even stated that him and Boosie got on stage together and did a duet after that. But the business was still never handled about the money being paid to OG Gumby, which Gumby is stating is still unfinished business.
When Grove was allowed to leave up out of the room, and how that actually played out was that I explained to him after I caught his attention that his brother had stole from you. And I showed him the bank account and I explained to him what happened. And he agreed that he never received that money, in the sense that his brother TQ was on some fast shit and me and him was going to do business. So if you see the footage from the concert, me and Lil Boosie went out and did a whole duo. Hoover. Guy said, but at the end of the day, our business is still not finished. Hoover. I lost $52,000 in that concert and I need my money.
So when it comes to OG Hoover, Gumby, a lot of people think that, he's just woofing on the internet, that he's just talking, that, Boosie's not going to pay him nothing because he's already claimed that he pressed Boosie, right? He locked this door in the green room and him and 200 Hoovers allegedly, confronted Boosie about this money that was owed to OG Gumby. But many people are saying, wow, y'all had 200 some Hoovers and Boosie still didn't give you the money. You had all this manpower. You were outnumbering Boosie and y'all still couldn't get him to give you the money. That's kind of crazy to a lot of people who are looking at the situation. And, OG Gumby is still on a mission from what he is saying in interviews that he's going to have manpower everywhere in the penitentiary. No matter where Boosie is going, it's going to be Hoovers that are going to, ask about this money, see about that money that he owes OG Gumby, allegedly.
I guess y'all thought when I told y'all about the situation with Lil Boosie and his brother was fake.
Nah, we do a show. They beat you out the bread, though.
Yeah, okay.
Did they beat you? Did they show up?
Well,
They had to kidnap Boosie.
Well, it wasn't.
The show didn't sell? The show didn't sell?
What ended up happening is his brother, right? His
Who has been on this show?
Yeah, TQ, right? And
TQ? That's the one we brought. Okay,
listen,
yeah.
So this dude right here, what he did is, a month before the show was to go on, he texted the promoters, Monster and fucking BI, and tell them, look, I double booked Boosie, right? So we gonna have to postpone y'all show. I'm like, what?
Nah, that don't happen.
So I'm like, okay, so what y'all booking for? He said he booked him for $7,500 more. So that made the insurance go up. No, this nigga Boosie, his insurance was high as fuck, because he was a whole rapper. I had Boosie, Plies, Hoover, look. So I said, okay, well, fuck it. I'm gonna give it to y'all. So to get him there, because on Hoover, this was not the contract. I ain't finna go to court against y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna holler at y'all when y'all get here.
Did they show up?
Boosie showed up.
Well, that's all you need to show
I agree.
up. He kept it real.
But they were not on the same page about the money.
First of all, I'm a club promoter. I don't have your back end. You just got $15,000 in my pocket, in your pocket of my money right now. You ain't finna show up here talking about no motherfucking back end.
What was he supposed to get paid? 30?
He was supposed to get paid 25. He had another 10 coming.
Where's it coming from?
It's coming from the venue. He was mad about the venue. They wanted to pay him in a check.
Now, many people feel like Boosie got too much going on with himself right now. You know, he's facing federal prison, turning himself in on November 21st for the sentencing. And also his son, you know, Lil Tootie Raw. He got caught with a switch. That's a federal charge off the rip. So he's also facing time as well in the feds, the son and the father. Wow. Just crazy. So people like, man, Boosie ain't worried about what this guy Gumby is talking about, right? He got too much going on for himself at the moment anyway to be worried about some guy on the internet, you know, talking about a claim from, you know, months and months and months back. So with two gangsters finally meeting up because of a technicality and things weren't running smoothly as they should have possibly been when this concert was promoted by OG Gumby. And Boosie got caught in the middle of it because his brother was doing bad business. And now you have OG Gumby, who has a history of gang banging, Hoover, 9 Deuce Crip. OG Gumby is the epitome of I'm not a killer, but don't push me. Because Reggie, OG Gumby Cole, committed his first murder in the Sea Yard of California's Calipatria State Prison. He was a member of the 92 Hoover Crips, had a prison tattoo that read Ghetto Star on his shoulder and another of 9 Deuce in block letters across his stomach. Everybody knew that if you fuck with Gumby, he will stab you, Cole says. He was typically not a brawler. He had maintained his innocence since first being charged with homicide at the age of 18 and spent much of his time in the law library researching his case in a place known as Calipatria, where violence is power. Cole was the rare inmate who proudly claimed not to be a killer. That is, before he became a target of Eddie Clark, a.k.a. The Devil, a Crip from South Central who had spent half of his life behind bars, first as a juvenile for beating another teen to death, then for S.A.ing an elderly woman and shooting her son during a robbery as an adult. To be marked by the Devil was to be marked for either death or S.A. servitude. Cole seemed to be facing both. After he refused to follow a gang order, the Devil had stabbed Cole twice and then whispered in Cole's ear, "You're now my bitch." In the Sea Yard, inmates get patted down before returning to their cells. It was not uncommon for guards to find weapons hidden in the sole or sock or shoe tucked into a waistband, if not someplace more obscure. According to the official report, they say that Cole started digging around in a place that he knew he had hidden a shank previously on the yard. And once Cole dug that old shank up, that poker, right, he was ready for some revenge, as this incident had just taken place, right? Devil had just stabbed him twice and whispered in his ear that he was now his bitch. And Cole had to get some type of retribution, being in fear of getting punked out, marked out, and bitched out, and possibly becoming a sidewalk sissy to Devil. And guess what? According to court documents, a guard placed his hand on Devil's hulking 200-pound frame to pat him down. The Devil extended his arms outward for inspection, revealing a tattoo of a hand gripping a sword on his right forearm. He also had a tattoo of his own self-portrait in the act of slitting a man's throat on his right rib cage. Cole watched a few feet away, clutching a 6-inch poker fashioned from a shard of metal and a melted potato chip bag. Wow, that's creative. Oh, OG Gumby wasn't fucking around, was he? As the guard bent over to pat Devil's legs, OG Gumby, Reggie Cole, leapt forward and stabbed the Devil in the neck. The blade punctured the Devil's voice box. Blood spurted into the air and on the guard, who had never seen a prison murder before, pulled his pepper spray out of his holster. "Get down," he yelled. All the men in the yard on the ground. Cole lay on his belly. "I already know what I did," he told the guards. Devil staggered onto a patch of grass, helplessly pressing his hand against the gushing 1-inch wound. "My first thought was like, I gotta go help him," Reggie Cole said. "It was very terrifying. I've never seen someone bleed to death. He was looking at me the whole time. By the time the doctor attended to him 30 minutes later, the Devil was dead." Cole was serving a life without parole sentence for the 1994 murder of Felipe Gonzalez Angeles. Now he faced a death penalty for killing the Devil. His trial, held in Imperial County, should have been a swift affair. There was little to dispute his guilt. But as the case wore on, Cole's lawyer became increasingly convinced that his client had been wrongfully convicted of the first instance. There was no physical evidence linking Cole to the crime, and serious concerns that the police investigation had been flawed from the start. But that only raised more troubling questions in his case. If the state had falsely imprisoned Cole, was he now accountable for the violence that resulted from the error? Reinvestigation eventually proved persuasive forensic evidence showed that the victim, Angeles, had been killed from above and not at a street level like the witness, John Jones, said he seen the black African-American males on the street right before the murder of Angeles. No fingerprints attached Cole or Anthony to the scene, and the witness, John Jones, had retracted his testimony. No eyewitnesses could identify Cole. Okay, and now the judge decided, and it came down to February of 2008, which time Cole had spent merely 14 years in prison. And the judge decided that Cole had been wrongfully convicted of the murder of Angeles. In the same trial, that man was facing the death penalty for an obvious murder. He had been cleared of one that he didn't commit. "Never seen that, and you never will again," Robertson said. Reggie OG Gumby Cole will be awarded $5.2 million from the city of Los Angeles for being wrongly convicted of those crimes. Now, with Boosie Badass having a dangerous background himself, even having his own shooter, with the words tatted on his stomach, "Yo, Boosie, who's next?" Boss man Boosie was calling shots. And allegedly, Marlo Mike is still serving time for those alleged crimes, right? And as we know, Boosie's not going to back down, as he didn't back down then when OG Gumby confronted him, right? Boosie said he's not worried about nothing. He's taking trips, he's going to Miami, right? Right before he has to go turn himself in on the 21st of November. So y'all get in the comment section, and y'all let me know what y'all think about this entire situation. And until the next time, this is OG Jucario TV with the latest in rap, hip-hop, celebrity, and urban news. You're watching the Rundown Podcast. I appreciate everybody for spending with me. I appreciate all my subscribers for sliding with your boy every time. And say, man, hey, man, keep hitting that like button, keep hitting that subscribe button, and look, turn on post notification so we can slide whenever I get the drop. You already know what it is, man. It's deeper than Buddha, her, you hear me? And guess what? I'm gone.